there is a move on to take all the guns away from the American citizens. There's a reason for that. I am a life member with NRA. A life member. I've got a number of guns and a lot of ammo. I'm going to buy more. I know authoritatively there are 80 million gun owners in this country, and that doesn't count the unregistered guns. 80 million gun owners in this country. And this anti-gun crowd, you need to remember something. In World War II, the Japanese said, "We will kill every American soldier they send to us, but we will never attack the mainland because we can never win. Their citizens are armed. We'll kill all the soldiers they send to us, but we'll never attack mainland America because we can never win. Their citizens are armed." China said much the same thing about us 2 years ago. And then in World War II, Hitler, he did something. He made a trip into Switzerland. Switzerland is called a neutral country. Nonsense. They're armed to the hilt. In Switzerland, every boy and every little girl, as soon as they're old enough to hold a gun, they are sent to special gun training classes. Those teenage girls can blow you away. Those housewives can wipe you out all over Switzerland, not even to mention the husbands. So Hitler made a trip into Switzerland to see, he was spying out the land to see what would be involved in conquering the nation. The Swiss government knew what he was doing, so they gave him a live demonstration of what teenage girls and housewives could do with guns. They're crack marksmen. Hitler walked out, and this is what he said: "We could never conquer Switzerland. In order to do so, we'd have to kill every citizen in the entire country because they're armed." The people who have the biggest gun are the people who are in power. And the reason they want to get our guns is because they can never take this nation over and expedite the spirit and the process of a one-world government as far as this nation, as long as this nation is powerful as it is. For example, there was Japan's highest-ranking naval officer. His name was Isoroku Yamamoto. He said, although he was Japanese and his loyalties were with the Japanese Empire, he studied for many years in America, graduating from Harvard University. He made a statement regarding the possibility of any nation taking a war to American soil. This is what this highest-ranking naval Japanese officer said, quote, "You cannot invade the mainland United States. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass," unquote. Here is why he was correct. American hunters are the world's largest army. During the hunting season we just came out of in 2010, the state of Wisconsin went an entire deer hunting season without someone getting killed. That's great, considering there were over 600,000 hunters that got permits just in the state of Wisconsin this past year. Allow me to restate that number. Over the last 2 months of last year, the 8th largest army in the world, more men under arms than Iran, more than France and Germany combined, deployed the woods of a single American state to keep the deer population under control. But that pales in comparison to the 750,000 who are in the woods of Pennsylvania the last 2 weeks of this last year. Michigan's 700,000 hunters have now returned home. Toss in 250,000 hunters in West Virginia, and it is literally the case that the hunters of those 4 states alone would comprise the largest army in the entire world, and that's just 4 states. You can see why the enemies of this country want to destroy our right to bear arms. They can't take us over. The total population of registered hunters in America ranges from 23 million to 43.7 million individuals, based on the annual data provided by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. As long as the American hunter retains his right to bear arms, America will forever be safe from foreign invasion of troops. Jesus, thank God for America. Thank God for America. God save America. God save America. In other words, hunting is not just a way to fill the freezer. It's a matter of national security. I have a permit to carry a revolver. It took me a year to get it in New York State. They really put you through a lot of things. I had to go to a special gun training course, fingerprints, mug shots, criminal investigation, you name it. I went through it. I hung in there for a whole year. Finally, they sent me a letter and said it had passed and I could come downtown to the judge's office in Schenectady, New York. So I went downtown and walked in his office and told him who I was and I had come to get my permit. He handed it to me. This is in my wallet right now. I opened it and I made sure his signature was on it and it was all legitimate. And then I said, Your Honor, I want to tell you what's behind your gun control laws. He just looked at me with his secretary. I said, in every nation in Europe where communism has overthrown the country, they, through communist subterfuge, passed these simple laws, and they don't care how long it takes, ladies and gentlemen. They just keep working at it, under the guise of protecting the public. And after a while, they eventually disarmed the entire population. And at the appointed time, when the tanks rolled across the border, there was no resistance, and they crushed them. I said, Your Honor, what is behind your gun control laws is communist subterfuge in this country. He looked at me, he said, Reverend, you're absolutely correct. I said, oh, I know I am. I've done my homework very well.